So that's the Goulburn River behind me, and honestly I just love coming up here, but sadly I'm not on holidays. Instead I'm here checking out a new van by Hike RV. It's the Atom 176. Now clearly it's a fairly conventional layout. You've got your queen size bed running north to south in the front. You've got this L-shaped dinette here, a kitchen on the near side of the Caravan, whereas at the back you've got the full width ensuite. And honestly I think that ensuite looks really good. I'm not quite sure what it is that appeals, but I think it might be that large round mirror. That's a little bit different. In fact, I'm not sure that I've seen much of that sort of style of mirror inside a Caravan before. To me, that's a welcome touch. It's a small thing, but sometimes it's the small things that, you know, make a bit of a difference, especially in more confined spaces. Let's not forget that this is, you know, a 17-foot 6-inch layout. And there are a couple of nice little touches that Hike RV has incorporated into this van. One of them is that hinged bench extension. I like it. I think that's the sort of thing that more caravan manufacturers should incorporate into their caravans. And Hike RV has also included that little slide out, you know, tray that you might be able to put a chopping board on or something like that as you're preparing the nightly meal. It's obviously a caravan for two people. This van actually is available in two separate layouts. The main difference between them is the position of the door. This one's got the rear door, whereas the other layout, the door is positioned towards the front. Some of your main features inside this caravan, you know, you've got the Hawk 600 series, you know, full stove, griller and oven. There's a microwave just up here that's quite neatly recessed into the cabinetry above this fridge. You've got your 12-volt fans, you've got your reading lights here, which have a little USB point integrated into the light itself. And this van has been on the market for roughly, you know, 3 years, and Hike RV tells me that they are starting to put a bit more emphasis on smaller and more compact caravans. They reckon that might be where the market's at the moment, you know, something a little bit more affordable, a little bit smaller, easy to tow and easy to store as well. And this caravan has a tear weight of 2,252 kilos and an ATM of 2,800 kilos. So that equals a pretty healthy payload capacity, and the ball weight when it's empty is 190 kilos. So in terms of your tow vehicle, I'm thinking your Pajero Sports. I mean, you know, I really like the MUXs. I drive one personally, and I'm pretty sure that this van would track along very nicely behind that car. So it's not overly heavy whatsoever, and I think it's quite well weighted for what it is. And there's a generous amount of storage space, full tunnel boot outside. You've got your slide out trays as well, either side of the toolbox on the A-frame. And you've also got 210 litre freshwater tanks, as well as a separate grey water tank that's 110 litres as well. This van is designated as an off-road caravan. It's got your 2.7 tonne rated tough ride independent coil suspension. The GTM on this caravan is 2,610 kilos, so no issues there. As for the foundation of the caravan, look, you've got a 6-inch A-frame that runs back to the suspension. The chassis is by Silvershine. It's a Supergirl chassis that's been fully painted. And you might be wondering about the 12-volt system. That's one of the things that I first look at when I'm checking out a new caravan, and we're so used to lithium power on caravans these days. However, this van has the, you know, AGM batteries, deep cycle batteries. We've got two 120 amp hours batteries that are mounted to the chassis behind some protective checker plate. We've also got the BM Pro battery management system in the cupboard over my head here. And then when it comes to the solar, to keep those batteries up to charge, you've got two 210 watt panels mounted to the roof. However, if you wanted to do the full lithium upgrade on this caravan, of course Hike RV can do that. What else have you got? Look, there's an external shower, you've got the full awning on the near side, couple of speakers out there as well, and of course you've got speakers on the inside, full reverse cycle air conditioning. Look, it's just a nice, pleasant caravan. I think it's nicely detailed. I think two people would be pretty comfortable in this thing. It's not, as I said, overly long, certainly not overly heavy, and I like that when it comes to caravans. I prefer caravans to be a little bit more compact and light if I can help it. I'm not one of those people that you would go for the full 3.5 tonne or even 4 tonne caravan towed behind a Ram. That's not my style. So something like this quite appeals to me. And on the subject of smaller caravans, it's also worth pointing out that this Atom is actually available in a 17-foot 2-inch format, so 2 inches shorter than what we have here. And I'm told that those 2 extra inches in that smaller van are accounted for by having 2 inches less in the ensuite and 2 inches less here in the dinette living area of the caravan. And whichever one you chose, I guess it just depends on your style of travel and what your needs are. Depending on who you ask, size doesn't always matter. So the thing with Hike RV, they can build their vans with different sorts of framing materials. This one's got an aluminium frame. They can also do it with the more traditional Meranti timber, but they can also do fiberglass paneling over a timber or aluminium frame as well. They also use a company called Leak Tight RVs, which makes sure that every caravan is fully sealed before it leaves the factory and hits the roads. And in fact, Josh from Leak Tight RVs is going to give us a bit of a demo as to how it all works. So this is Josh Brown from Leak Tight RVs. Mate, how does it all work?
So we've got purpose-built equipment we put inside a caravan, and it pulls air from outside and pushes air volume into the cabin of the RV. And this allows us to walk around the outside with a spray bottle, spray light fittings, mouldings, check all the seals on the caravan. And if there are any gaps in anything, like in the silicone work in general, it will present a bubble. So then we undertake repairs and then do a retest. This ensures for manufacturers that their caravans are rolling out completely leak tight and they don't have to worry about leaks presenting themselves.
And that's awesome peace of mind as well for the customers. So do you need to, tape up vents and that sort of thing as part of the process?
Look, it depends on the size of the caravan. The caravan behind us is a little bit smaller, so we don't generally have to tape up too much. We do have to test at a certain water column inch. When we get to that pressure, this allows us to be able to test accurately.
And do you do a lot of work with Hike RV? So all the vans that Hike RV rolls out of the factory, you would have personally tested?
So since November last year, we've tested every single Hike RV caravan that is rolled out of their factory.
So it's a really important thing that I guess a lot of customers wouldn't necessarily think about, but leaks can and probably will eventually present themselves. So for the peace of mind factor alone, that's really, really important. So there you go, that's the Atom 176 by Hike RV. It's a two-person touring caravan with some off-road credibility. Love the bathroom inside this caravan. I like the fact, again, that it's not overly large, it's not overly heavy, and there's a good chance that the car that's in your driveway at the moment will be suitable for towing duties, but of course, always check your weights. I'm glad I checked out this caravan, and if you don't mind, I'm going to go check out the Goulburn River.